Welcome back to another episode of Robot Chaos Season 7. It's
Season 7.
It's the 7th season, and last episode we had some great fights for you. Loki upsetting last year's number 2 seed Top Bot, and of course Ocean Man just looking incredibly dominant in that main event win over Warbird. 2 metal spinners squaring off right there, and we have some great fights for you tonight as well.
Yeah, let's get into some of these fights. First off, Electric Boogaloo versus Ribot. This is the highlighted fight, ignore it. But then we have Ripper taking on Behemoth in some Robot Wars robot battles. Then we have Bot of Italy against Atomic Green in a battle of some flippers. Rusty taking on Blip in a BattleBots fight in mini-bot form. Then we have Buzzkill against Stingray. Stingray hoping to finally win a playoff match. Cyclone against SilverStar and some big spinner veterans. And in the main event, the biggest fight ever. Literally, Mammoth against Huge, big rotary against big spinner. But let's get into the first fight, which is going to be Ripper versus Behemoth.
Yeah, Ripper, a pretty strong-looking flipper bot coming into this season. A little unknown about how that mechanism is going to hold up, but if what we've seen in testing is true, they can definitely have some power in that arm, and they can definitely flip bots over End Your Night pretty quickly, so it's important you stay away from that flipper and really try and disable them quick.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do in their first fight. Obviously, it's a very promising-looking robot, but the first fight can always be difficult for some of these rookie bots, especially against the 2-time champion Behemoth. Always a threat, however, they really haven't had that same success in these past 2 seasons. Still looking to get back to that level they were in seasons 2 and 4, but Ripper's a good first opponent for them to try out, and we'll have to see how they do here. Yeah,
definitely. This is a huge flipper match. I think Ripper might have the advantage with the flipper itself, but Behemoth just has the experience, 16-8 in Robot Chaos. This is going to be an interesting fight to see play out in the box, but without further ado, let's take a look and see what happens.
Yippee.
And the battle has begun.
And already a good first attack there by Ripper, trying to get underneath that Behemoth scoop. Behemoth retaliates with a bit of a scoop itself. It's got new side little wing things to help so it doesn't get stuck on its side, which is the main reason why it keeps losing.
And wow, already a nice flip by Ripper, but Behemoth can self-right from almost every angle at this point.
Yeah, Behemoth easily able to get back. They have always struggled with self-righting, but this season that's a good start for them. Ooh, a nice misflip there. Ripper looking pretty good so far. Really impressed with how that flipper is done.
Yeah, definitely. Ripper just needs to be careful of Behemoth. I mean, you gotta respect that weapon, but I think they definitely have the edge right now in flipper mechanism, and already there's a nice flip over there by the wall.
Yeah, those have been some very good first attacks from Ripper, but now Behemoth getting to the back, and that
not where you want to be
firing, and it looks like they might have been jammed. I don't think that's going to be able to retract. That flipper looks pretty jammed up there. Behemoth looking good right now.
Yeah, just looks like a rookie mistake, and here comes the count out on Ripper.
Very unfortunate. They were looking really good at the start of this match, but then they let their guard down, and Behemoth's going to take advantage of those moments.
Yeah, really disappointing from Ripper. I mean, not a bad showing if you're Ripper, going up against a really solid Robot Chaos bot, but just not the result you wanted. You know, you had Behemoth on the flips there, it's just you couldn't close it out, but I wouldn't be upset with that performance right there.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to have a loss in your first match after doing that well to a very respected opponent, but in the end, they did show promise, and if they're able to correct issues, maybe have a little bit of an easier opponent in the next match, then they definitely could take a win and really right their season. Definitely not the end of the world, but just not how you want to start these matches. So getting into our next match, we have first Bot of Italy, the powerful flipper from Builder Boy. He's right here, and he's going to talk a little bit about this match against Atomic Green.
Alright, so we're facing Atomic Green. So here's a plan. We're gonna make them look like they took an atomic Alright, so we're just gonna flip them over and put them into the pit. It'll be that easy. I mean, look, it's green. It's green. That's an ugly shade of green. We got the better green.
Thank you very much for that, Builder Boy. And in the other side of the arena, on the other side of the arena, we got Atomic Green. 2-4 in Robot Chaos. You know, not the best record, but really looking solid in testing before this season. That's definitely a wedge you really don't want to go toe-to-toe against.
This is a very improved design for this bot, the new lifting arm. We'll have to see how it does in this first match, but there's a lot of promise for this robot. We'll have to go down and see if they can beat Bot of Italy, so the season off with a win.
And the match has begun, and already both bots kind of stalemating in the center of the arena.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see which bot can land the lower ground clearance and get the lower flips. Bot of Italy, it can flip, but that flipper has never been proven to help itself right. But that's also because it's not been flipped. We'll have to see, can Atomic Green land that flip and potentially end this match right now?
Ooh, and already a nice shot by Bot of Italy. Both robots kind of showing off their maneuverability already, and already a nice flip over in the corner. Atomic Green's got to avoid that.
Yeah, Bot of Italy looking right now like they have the good wedge game. And ooh, there was a good first flip, but
nice self-right by Atomic Green there.
Great self-righting there. Atomic Green not phased by it, ready to go right back in on the attack. Bot of Italy going up,
and there's already a nice ram into the wall. Both of these robots looking very aggressive early out of the gate.
This is a very good start to this match for both of these bots. Both have had their moments, and there's another...
Oh, a beautiful flip there by
and another one in back.
And out of the arena.
Oh, back into these screws.
That they're not going to get out.
Oh, and they're back.
Wow. I was just going to say they're not going to get out of there.
But just like that, Atomic Green thought they were out. They come back in, and they are still right in this match. Amazing moment there, and now they're ready to retaliate.
Wow.
Bot of Italy retaliates back.
Yeah, already Atomic Green in a hole right now. They kind of got to win back some points, but definitely showing that they're able to go toe-to-toe with that flipper at Bot of Italy.
Yeah, this has been a real flip fest so far for Bot of Italy. I think that's around 3 or 4 flips so far from that flipper, showing a lot of really good energy from it that really wasn't there last season. Looking like a very threatening bot right now, but still gotta keep it up against this powerful lifter of Atomic Green.
And already a flip up there on the shelf. Atomic Green has to get down from there.
And they're looking like they might be in trouble. Bot of Italy waiting to see if they're going to get off. It looks like they almost did. They flipped them again. 5 flips on the day. They might be approaching the record at this point.
Atomic Green's really got to make up some points fast here or get Bot of Italy in the pit. I mean, Bot of Italy looks very maneuverable in this fight. Definitely a lot better than we saw last season.
Yeah, Bot of Italy, they had some improved wheels for this season, a little bit grippier, and we're definitely seeing that this time around. They're getting some good pushes. Atomic Green's trying their best, but in the end, Bot of Italy's doing a great job at countering whatever they're trying to respond with. There's another flip, number 6.
Yeah, just hard for Atomic Green to get under that low front and that heavy bot that is Bot of Italy. But, I mean, they're still going to try, and they keep maneuvering themselves around the back. And already, ooh, a nice flip right there.
And there's another flip.
Another counter flip by Bot of Italy. That's 7 flips on the day.
What unfortunate driving mistake. Bot of Italy's going to take that. And in the end, that was very impressive performance there by Bot of Italy. I mean, 7 flips is definitely a record.
Yeah, that was incredibly anticlimactic there at the end. But I think the bot who deserved to win definitely won this fight. I mean, just some huge flips from Bot of Italy. You know, Atomic Green showed some promise in this fight. Definitely not a horrible showing, but just a bad matchup for them in general.
Yeah, they were able to get out of the screws, which was definitely quite an interesting moment and really showed the resiliency of this flipper. But in the end, Bot of Italy just the better robot today. Gonna have to see how Atomic Green can recover in their next match. In the end, good performance for Bot of Italy.
Yeah.
And next up we have Rusty, one of the other 2 non-modded Hexbug robots in it. A powerful hammer, but no wedge. Gonna be interesting to see how they do in this first match against Blip. See if they can win, unlike when they fought in real life.
Yeah, definitely. That lack of a wedge is going to hurt them, but that just means that their hammer is more in the front of the robot, so it's going to be much easier for them to get hits. But without that wedge, we'll have to see how they can do against a bot like Blip.
And yeah, getting to Blip. Blip did pretty well last season, 3-2. They got some decent wins, but were knocked out by Ocean Man in the top 8. We'll have to see how they respond this season. A bit of not too much improved, but they do have some new forks that are a lot better. That flipper, still kind of suspect, never really saw it get a lot of action last season. We'll have to see how it can do here.
Yeah, they had one good flip last season, but other than that, you know, that flipper is just very high off the ground, hard to engage. Let's see if they can engage it. Rusty's a perfect opponent for something like this, so let's see how it plays out down in the box.
Yippee-de-ki-yay. Here we go.
And the robots are off already. Blip just showing that it can get under Rusty whenever it wants. Both of these robots a little bit slow out of the gate, but Blip really just wants to control around Rusty in this fight, and that's what it seems like it's been able to do so far.
Yeah, every time they collide, it's mostly just Rusty going a little bit up, Blip trying to land a decent flip, but like we said, that flipper's power really suspect.
Yeah, already a nice little lift there, but I feel like Rusty's lifting itself more with its hammer blows.
Yeah, really just not maybe a bit of an improved mechanism later in the season will be nice, but for now, they're not doing too bad of a job. They're getting a few nice controls, and now it looks like they're a little bit high-centered, but Rusty is a friendly little guy and frees them.
Good sportsmanship there from Rusty to free them. I mean, they could have taken that free win right there.
Yeah.
Already a nice flip over by the corner. I don't know if Blip actually flipped that or that was just a power, but already a nice flip there
There's a
too.
good flip, and there's another good little pounce, so Blip showing a good bit of energy with that little sequence. Nice to see that flipper getting some good engagement.
Yeah, definitely. Rusty's the perfect opponent for Blip to engage on and show that their flipper isn't as bad as we thought it might be.
Yeah.
And over by the pit, both robots kind of stalemating.
Yeah, they're looking to get some kind of engagement. Rusty really not landing that many hammer blows. They've had a few nice shots, but in the end, it's really just been Blip that's done what it's needed to do. It's not been the prettiest fight, but in the end, they're winning, I guess.
Blip with an opportunity for a pit.
But now
and that flipper arm is bent up.
Oh, and it's back in.
Into the pit with Rusty.
Yep, so, that was not a terrible performance for Blip. It wasn't the prettiest, but in the end, they did have some good sequences where they got some nice little shots. They had a few. We still are seeing that the flipper isn't the most powerful, but in the end, they got the win. I guess that's all they can ask for.
I mean, that was a nice little flip over there in the corner. I mean, Blip did show that its drive is no joke and that it is a solid wedge. And if they can dial in that flipper throughout the season, they could be dangerous again like last year.
Yeah, they're definitely looking pretty solid this season with those new forks. They're definitely very low. Overall, good start to their season. We'll have to see how they can do in their next match.
Alright, next up we have Buzzkill versus Stingray. Now Buzzkill, kind of a strange design. 6-9 in Robot Chaos. Definitely an interesting bot to say the least.
Yeah, it's very different. It's gone through a lot of different iterations. This is just the next one. It's a pretty powerful spinner on top of a very odd base. In the end, it's an interesting design. Not really seen much like it. And it's going to have a pretty difficult first test, though, against Stingray. We'll have to see how it can do.
Yeah, we'll have to see how powerful that weapon is against Stingray, a Robot Chaos veteran, 10-5 all time. Just a solid robot, nothing amazing, but definitely can give bots a run for their money. They have a very low wedge. They can get very low to the ground, and Buzzkill really doesn't have a ground game, so it seems like Stingray may just be able to flip him around this fight.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point. It's going to be interesting to see how Buzzkill tackles this bot. It doesn't have a self-rider, so it's definitely going to be in a bit of a difficult match here, but we'll have to see how it can do.
And the bots are off. Buzzkill already spinning up, trying to land a shot, but Stingray's very sloped, so it's going to be hard to land a shot on that body.
Yeah, looking at it, it's a very fast robot, this new version of Buzzkill. I have to say, it's definitely more maneuverable than we have seen it in its last time. It's been quite a while since it's been back in the arena. We're trying to land some good shots on the back, but I think we're really seeing an issue is that kind of difficult to get some shots with those teeth because they're so
small.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Oh, also Stingray's slope sides aren't making it easy for them, but they're able to get around to the back of Stingray. Stingray seems to be having some issues just pinning Buzzkill. So solid driving from Buzzkill so far. They just need to engage that weapon a little bit more. But a nice lift here on the front of Buzzkill, almost entirely off the ground.
And they follow through with it, and they get them back, and they're flipped. Great attack there from Stingray. In the end, it looks like that's going to be it. Here comes the countdown on Buzzkill.
Yeah, that was just short, sweet, and Stingray is going to take home the win. Solid performance from them. I mean, they seem to struggle a tiny bit out of the gate, but not a bad showing.
Pretty much what they needed to do in the end. I mean, Buzzkill, yeah, that ground clearance is just terrible.
Yeah.
Downright disrespectful, and Stingray was just easily able to get that flip.
They were able to land some tiny little shots on the side of Stingray, but as soon as Stingray was able to get them up in the air, they were pretty much done for.
Yeah, you can't really recover from something like that. Stingray just follows through. A little bit of struggle with that lift, but in the end, 1-0. And Stingray still looks pretty capable. We'll have to see if they can follow through and get another victory in their next match.
Next up, one of my all-time favorite bots to watch in the arena, Cyclone. A combined 13-13 in Robot Chaos all-time, made it to the Season 1 final, but Cyclone just is always going to give you an entertaining fight, win or lose. That weapon just always comes to play.
Yeah, it's always been quite a fun robot to watch. This season, though, they really have to prove something because they have not been up at that point where they made the championship. Not even close in these past few seasons. We'll have to see how they can do. But SilverStar, probably the robot you want to start out against.
Yeah, definitely a nice starting opponent for Cyclone. Definitely kind of what you want on your schedule.
SilverStar is incredibly disappointing.
I mean, 7-14 all time is not as bad as you think it'd be.
That's the second worst in the every single robot.
Okay, well, I mean, SilverStar definitely has the weapon power, but just the drive, man. It's so hard to just drive around. So we'll see how it can do in this fight against a huge spinner like Cyclone once you spinners square off.
Here we go. Both of these big spinners squaring off. As someone who is a firm believer in SilverStar, I really just wanted to win a fight. This would be quite the fun win for it, but right now, you just got to get some good engagement. Right now, neither bot really engaging.
Both of these bots at full power. I mean, they're SilverStar slamming into the wall before
there's a nice little collision. Oh, and another one, some big collision between these spinners. SilverStar still working.
Yeah, Cyclone definitely being cautious against SilverStar. I mean, they know that they can break their own weapon pretty quickly, so they really don't want their weapon to be the one that goes down first.
Ooh! Big engagement
shot
there.
The wall.
Huge shot right there, and right now them getting a few more shots and SilverStar spinning down. Well, oh shoot! That's a battery. Don't hit that, please. They cost a lot of money. Thank you. Good lord. Okay, well.
Wow.
Cyclone, jeez.
I didn't even see anything really happen to SilverStar, and then Cyclone kind of just hit them when they spun
guts are all over the floor.
Yeah, wow. I mean, decent showing. Not decent, an incredible showing there by Cyclone. I mean, they kind of picked and chose their shots. Were able to kind of just slam into SilverStar whenever they really wanted. But just a huge shot there. They were able to just get that weapon down on SilverStar, and then once it was down, they were just able to go in for that kill shot. I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it started slowing down. Something wasn't right, and then boom, all of the batteries gone. I think a wheel even flew out. Just, you know, that's not a great way to start your season. Another long season right now, looking for SilverStar, but Cyclone, dominant showing right there.
Definitely.
So now getting to a highlighted fight. This is Ribot versus Electric Boogaloo. When I say this is the worst fight that we have ever done, I partially mean it. At least for Ribot, at least. This robot we thought would be good. It moved at a snail's pace, and it was quite terrible. There's not much else to say, but Electric Boogaloo's thwacking thing broke off, so it just kept thwacking and thwacking Ribot, and then eventually Ribot just died.
So Electric Boogaloo won as a spinner.
Yeah. Now getting to the main event, this is totally not a re-recorded thing because the original one was deleted. Getting to Mammoth, that big rotary lifter design back in Robot Chaos hasn't been here since I believe Season 2, but now it's a completely new overhaul design. The weapon actually works this time, and it can do very interesting things. It has been able to pick up robots before in testing, so it's a very innovative, very cool design to see in this small Hexbug-ish form, but they're going to have a pretty interesting matchup here. The rematch of the Season 5 Classic, one of the best matchups in BattleBots. Huge, of course. The big wheeled meta-breaking vertical spinner design. A very interesting, difficult robot to make at this scale, but it's really looking forward to this fight. That spinner, not the strongest, but if they could get a good position, they could definitely hit those exposed internals on Mammoth, and if they can get a good hit on there, then Mammoth's night could be done. But we'll have to see who wins this one. Two very different designs. Let me see who can win in this rematch in Hexbug form. And let the main event begin. Both robots getting out of their squares. Mammoth looking a little bit off kilter, but now it looks like they're getting their bearings back. Huge coming in, trying to get some hits with that spinner, and Mammoth flicking them up, and oh, they've been grabbed by the lifter, and Huge now being carried around by the spoke of that wheel. That is a crazy maneuver there. Shows the power in that weapon, but they are stuck, so we are going to have an unstick right about now. Of course, robots, if they get stuck, they are freed, so we can keep the fight going more regular pace. It helps a lot. But right now, we are seeing, ooh, another good throw there from Mammoth. Huge. It just doesn't really have a whole lot of traction. Obviously, it can't push much in the first place, but Mammoth really controlling this fight so far, picking up Huge again and again and again and again. Very good start for this fight for Mammoth. They look very, very improved, and they're really giving Huge a tough time here. Huge just can't do anything to Mammoth so far. That spinner just not able to get the right angle. They have to try to find a way to get around to those wheels of Mammoth to do some damage, but right now they're stuck once again. Hopefully we won't have to do another unstick. Mammoth trying to take them towards that arena drum in the back, but it doesn't look like, nope, they're not going to be able to do much with that. But that weapon, very, very effective so far. Obviously, Huge, there's a lot of areas for them to pick up and kind of scoop away, but right now they are proving to be a very effective push bot and very effective bot with that lifter. Huge needs to find a way to get out of that corner and get around and get some good engagement, but right now they're just struggling so far. Mammoth once again going back in and picks them up again and throws them. Huge, this feels very reminiscent of when they fought in BattleBots, where Mammoth just kind of threw them around the whole match, and Huge just can't get that purchase, and once again push back near that shelf. I don't think the shelf is gonna affect Huge too much, so I think they should be fine. Now Mammoth backing away and now using that tail to kind of grab Huge's spoke. Huge trying to get away, but right now, push near the wall, and Huge, over that side wall. I don't think they're going to be able to get back in there. The 10-second timer is counting down on Huge, just like the fight in BattleBots. Stuck over the wall, no hope, going, and gone. Mammoth wins the main event in a amazing matchup against Huge. Going back into this instant replay, a really solid showing there from that weapon, from that little lifter on Mammoth, picked it up perfectly, and in the end, Huge just didn't have an answer for pretty much the whole match. It was very repetitive. Mammoth just easily able to grab those holes in Huge. Maybe if you think if Huge had solid wheels to prevent that, then they could have fared better, but in the end, they just could not do much. They tried their best to get around, but that spinner didn't prove too effective, and in the end, Mammoth got that good push. A great start to the season for Mammoth. They look like a very solid bot going forward. Solid weapon, very solid drive. In the end, this is definitely going to be a bot to look out for this season. No doubt about that. Well done to them.
And with that, another episode of Robot Khaos comes to an end.
Yep, in the next episode, we'll see some more bots having their first matches. We'll see El Dominador returning to the box. We'll see a battle of crabs. And we'll see in the main event, Blindside against Snowblind in a battle of the blinds. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you
next week.
Oh yeah, that's true. We're consistent now.